Honda Pilot might be one of America's best SUVs on the market today. So let's go ahead and take a look and find out why. My particular example today is a 2012 Honda Pilot EXL in this beautiful silver exterior with a gray leather interior. That's where the EXL comes from. The L actually stands for EX with leather. We'll take a look at some of the unique aspects of the car and just do a full in-depth tour of it all around. So here's the key for the car. It's Honda's standard key, really solid feeling key too. You have your lock, unlock, panic, as well as your power liftgate release functions right there. So let's go ahead and start it up and let it run. Coming to the doors, you can see you have black pinstriping as well as body color door handles. And opening the door feels really solid. This is one of the most solid doors that I have ever felt, and it's just very hefty and feels like even if an 18-wheeler came barreling towards you, you'd be all right. And then all you have to do is insert your key into the illuminated ignition and then twist to start. You can hear Honda's traditional door dinger there. The engine's very quiet upon startup as well. So let's go ahead and turn on the automatic headlamps. Fog lamps are already on, as well as the hazards. And let's take a look at the exterior. The driver and passenger window are automatic up and down. Now coming to the exterior of the Pilot, it's definitely not your typical full-size SUV. And there's a very good reason for that. Honda didn't want to produce a body-on-frame, solid rear axle SUV. They wanted something that was going to be a little bit more economically friendly and easier to manage in everyday life. And that's exactly what they've done with the Pilot. As you can see, this one is in a beautiful silver exterior. You have black pinstriping accenting the sides there. And you actually have a little Honda logo right there. You have body colored capped mirrors. Very nice and straight and solid lines on the exterior of the car. Here's your fuel filler door right there, which is released from the inside. Coming around to the back, you can see you have your standard reflector tail lamps with your reversing lamps down below. You have your chrome plated Pilot badge right there, as well as a chrome accented strip running across the top with your Honda logo in the middle. You also have a rear wiper. You also have dual chrome polished exhaust outlets. The wheels on this one, we have P235/60 R18, so 18-inch aluminum alloy rims. Super nice looking rims. They kind of have a darker finish on the inside as opposed to the lighter brushed chrome on the outside, so it adds a nice little deviation and makes it look really nice. As I said, body colored mirror caps. And then coming to the front end, you can see you have your standard Honda grille. You also have your reflector beam headlights with your high beams located here and turn signals up above, and also fog lights down below. Very nice and stately looking front end on this car. It looks very aggressive and just super nice. So let's go ahead and open up the hood and see what she's got. There's your fuel cap release right there. And then opening the hood, just find this latch right here and pull. And then, opening up the hood, you're greeted with Honda's J35 V6 or 3.5-liter V6 featuring their VTEC system. Also, you have variable cylinder management, and what that entails is on the highway, if you're running highway speeds, it'll actually drop down to a 3-cylinder to give you greater fuel economy. So that's very nice. You can hear the electric fan kicking on and off. I'll add the fuel economy and power specs into the annotations right here, but it's a super clean looking engine. Absolutely beautiful. I love the way Honda does their engines. They just look so clean and straightforward and simple. And then just release to close the hood. It sounds really solid when you close it. So let's go ahead and move on to the interior. We'll give the engine a couple of revs from the inside, turn off the headlights as well as the hazards. You can definitely hear that VTEC crossover right there, and there is a rev limiter around 5,000 RPM, but like I said, that VTEC crossover sounds really cool. And then we'll go ahead and rev the engine with the window up, and we'll turn off the climate control. You can definitely hear the VTEC crossover, which sounds absolutely incredible. I just love that. It's one of my favorite features about Hondas is their VTEC system. So coming to the interior, you have a leather wrap steering wheel all the way around with perforated leather on the sides here. You do have mild side bolstering grip extensions, nothing crazy, but they definitely are there. You have your hands-free phone and Bluetooth controls right here, multifunction controls right here, cruise control. Here's your shifter for your 5-speed automatic transmission with low gear selection. There's D3, which will put it into 3rd gear, and then coming down, you have 2nd and 1st. And then putting it back up into reverse reveals a reverse backup camera with guidance lines. It's actually a pretty crisp camera too. The display and the color saturation on the screen is really nice. And then when you put it back into park, it'll resume with your standard compass and clock, and then if you had the audio system powered on, all the information for that would be right there. And I won't be able to demonstrate that due to YouTube copyright issues, but that's alright. Coming down the center stack, you can see you have your piano black trim with your climate control information right here. CD in right there. All your standard media inputs. You have AM, FM, XM, CD, USB or auxiliary, and then your clock adjustment right there. 6 presets. There's your seat controls right here. Here's your controls for your display, all controlled through this little knob right there. You have dual zone automatic climate control, and you also have a separate zone with separate controls in the 2nd row, so that's a nice feature as well. Flipping this up reveals a 12-volt power outlet, and you also have dual stage heated seats for the driver and passenger, as you can see. And what this rear lock button right here entails is it'll actually lock the controls to the rear air conditioning. That way if you didn't want the kids playing with the air conditioning controls or fighting over them or anything like that, you could lock it. That way you could control it from the front and they wouldn't be able to from the rear. Coming right here, you have your wiper controls right here. You see wipers work just fine, and then your rear wiper control is located on the end here. You can see it activates just like that. And then here's your headlamp controls as well as your turn signals right there. There's your traction control right there, as well as your parking brake release, and the pedal to push that down is right there. And then just pull this lever to release it. Like I said, your fuel cap is down below. And then coming back here, you can see you have a massive storage area right here for a wallet or a phone or iPod or whatever you wanted to put in there. And then underneath this sliding lid right here, we have dual cup holders with another storage tray right down here. Absolutely massive cup holders too, which is something that you don't see on a lot of cars these days. A lot of cars are going to smaller cup holders that don't hold as big of drinks, but we live in America and we like our Sonic Route 44s, so I'm glad Honda went along with that. And then you have another storage tray right here. Center armrest is liftable, and it is also padded just like as you can see. Here you have your USB pigtail right there, as well as your auxiliary port, and then you have another 12-volt power outlet right there, and you actually have a little light in there, as you can tell. And this storage area is carpeted, and you can remove the carpet if you ever needed to clean it or anything. The seats in this one are gray leather trimmed and exceptionally comfortable. There's tons of thigh support and lots of lumbar support, and they're just really, really comfortable seats that I wouldn't hesitate to be in on a long road trip, which is what these cars are designed for. Coming over here, you can see you have a 3-tiered storage tray right there. Glove box lid is actually quite large, and the glove box is pretty decently sized. You could get an iPad or something like that in there, and it does come with the owner's manual right there. Dash materials all are harder to the touch but feel super substantial. They don't sound hollow, which I find very nice. Now coming over to the door, on the top of the door here you have a rubberized material. It is actually padded, so that's a nice little touch. And then you have a leather portion right here on the door, brushed chrome door handle, and there's your little door pull right there. And you actually have two storage bins on the doors. One right here that is lined with a rubberized material to keep your things from sliding or rattling. And then another one down below with your tailgate release right there. So let's go ahead and check out the back seat. Now coming to the back seat of the Pilot, one of the first things you'll notice is how much leg room is back here. As you can see, I have no room fitting in the back seat at all. I'm about 5'11", 5'11 and a half. And I had the driver's seat adjusted pretty well to where I would have liked it. And I fit behind myself perfectly. Dual map pockets. There's your rear climate controls right there, as well as another 12-volt power outlet. So there's definitely no shortage of power sources in this car at all. You have a cup holder in the door right here, as well as a little storage tray right there. Power window controls. Brushed chrome door handle, same materials as the front. You have the rubberized on top, and then you have the leather portion here, as well as the stitched leather armrest right there. And you do still get the dual storage trays as well, so that's a pretty nice feature. Pulling on this tab reveals the center armrest, which is wrapped in leather with dual cup holders right there, as well as a little storage tray if you wanted to put phone or wallet or something like that in there. And the second row actually does recline. All you have to do is just reach up and grab this handle right here, or this handle right here, whichever you prefer. And the second row will recline a bit, but not too much, because the third row is back there. Doors still sound super solid when you close them. Coming to the cargo bay, you can see it does have a split level glass tailgate. All you have to do to open the glass portion is find this little black button right here, and then lift on this little tab, and the glass will open up. As you can see, you have your third row right back there. I'll demonstrate that once I get the tailgate open. And then closing the glass is super easy. And then to open the full-size tailgate, just pull on this handle right here and lift. Now coming back here, you can see you have an underfloor storage area for your wetter items that you would put back here, maybe swimsuits or something like that. Your spare tire is located up underneath this little storage bin, as well as your jacks right there. You have tie-down anchors on each side of the cargo bay here, as well as another little storage area right there. So that's a pretty cool little place to hide things that you might not want people seeing, or some of your valuables or whatever you have. You have coat hooks right there, 12-volt power outlet. Now operating the third row is actually incredibly easy. All you have to do is pull on this handle right here, and then the third row seats will fold up right into place, and they are also leather back here. You can see you have dual cup holders on each side, some right there as well as right there, and you also have tie-down hooks there as well as there. And then to fold it back down, just lift down on this handle, and the seats will tumble forward just like that, revealing a flat load floor. And then to close the tailgate, all you have to do is just push down like that. So let's go ahead and take this 2012 Pilot for a test drive. So let's go ahead and get started. As you can hear, engine is incredibly quiet upon startup. These J35s are incredibly smooth engines, so they're not annoying or loud or anything like that. Get a little bit of air conditioning going. Now, one of the first things you'll notice when you first sit down into the Pilot to take it for a drive is how absolutely smooth the ride quality is and how good the visibility is. I was just driving over a little bit of a rocky section right there, and the suspension soaked it up exceptionally well. This one has four-wheel independent suspension, so ride quality will be no problem at all. And visibility is excellent also. I have no problem seeing out over the hood, and it's actually kind of a commanding view. You actually have to look out over the hood, you don't just see the road. I personally like that. And like I said, ride quality is super smooth. You can see that dip right there is usually one that sends cars sailing, but this one soaked it up just fine. The 2.5 liter V6 is super powerful too. My gosh, that's one of the first things I'm noticing once I'm getting going, that the engine is incredibly powerful. And you would expect a car this big and this heavy, you wouldn't think that a V6 would be enough, but it is actually more than enough. This car feels pretty darn fast. Now another thing that I'm noticing is that at idle, you can't hear the engine at all. It is super quiet. And like I said, I wasn't able to demonstrate the radio due to YouTube copyright issues, but I have listened to it on my own and it sounds really good. It has a nice bass punch to it, nice even tone. Seats are super comfortable. They're pretty firm, but they're firm in a good way. They're not hard to where they're going to be uncomfortable. They're firm in a way that is supportive and gives you lots of lateral support, as well as lower support, holding you in on those tighter corners, which this car can actually handle. It feels very capable and very sure of itself on the road, and it's just a really nice vehicle. So as you can tell, I'm on a little bit of a rougher road surface right now, and interior noise is actually very quiet. There's hardly any road noise coming through and zero wind noise at all. The steering is very precise and very direct. It picks up the tiniest inputs and does with them exactly what I think the car should do with them. So it's a car that kind of works with you. You don't have to work hard to make the car do what you want it to do. It's just, it feels very natural and you feel very at home. As you can tell, now I'm on a smoother road surface and there is literally zero road noise coming through and zero wind noise. This is one of the quietest cabins that I have ever been in, and this feels very luxurious. It feels like a really nice luxury car, and I'm very impressed. I used to not have a whole lot of respect for the Pilot. I didn't think it was anything special, but after driving it, I feel like it's a really good car, and it's just super nice. Brakes are very well modulated. The pedal feels really solid and has a nice initial bite, and then the more pressure you add, the easier it is to slow the car down, and actually taking that corner wasn't bad. You can definitely hear that VTEC crossover too. Ooh, that sounds good. It's just a very nice guttural and raw noise. It sounds very, it's just a nice intake noise. It sounds like the intake is really opened up and it just really sounds cool. I like that a lot. And that's one of my personal favorite features of Hondas is their VTEC system. It actually helps you get better fuel economy if you don't put your foot in it. And it's just a cool little technology that Honda has that's definitely an attention grabber. And one thing I'm noticing is there's a little eco light on the dashboard that lets me know when I'm driving economically, and then when I put my foot down, the eco light definitely goes away. So that's a nice little way to kind of coach yourself on a more economic driving style. And then when you're driving it normally without having your foot down, it's super quiet and super smooth. The engine doesn't produce any vibration that transfers to the cabin. Honda just did a really nice job of isolating you from everything going on outside. Steering feel is very direct, but it doesn't produce too much vibration coming from a rougher road surface. Ride quality is almost unbeatable in this class. This is one of the smoothest riding SUVs that I have ever driven or been in, and I am totally impressed. And if you're in the market for a three-row SUV, don't sell yourself short. Definitely check out the Pilot because it's definitely a force to be reckoned with, and this one is an absolutely incredibly clean example. This one has like 33,000 miles on it, and you would never know it. It feels as new as it did when it rolled off the production line. Fairway Auto Center in Tyler, Texas, and they are one of the best used car dealerships around, if not the best in my opinion. My family and I have dealt with them plenty of times, and they're just super nice people, a great Christian-based car dealership, and they'll do the very best they can to find you whatever make or model you're looking for, and at the same time, you'll be getting the best deal for sure. So definitely pay them a visit if you're in the area and you're in the market for a car like this, or any used vehicle for that matter, because they have tons of inventory, and odds are you'll definitely be able to find something that you're looking for. So anyways, that about concludes our tour and test drive of this 2012 Honda Pilot EXL. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and like I said, if you're in the market for an SUV like this, definitely check this one out because it's a super clean example. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you next time.